What's going on, everybody? This is DJ Avacree of Trap Camp ENT, and today we have another episode of Next Level Sampling. So I'm going to go ahead, Next Level Sampling, Next Level Hip Hop. I'm going to go ahead and play the track in 3, 2, 1. It'll be coming in loud, so prepare yourself to either be lit or put on headphones or turn it down. So in 3, 2, 1, here we go. 3, 2, 1. So, let's go ahead and get into this lesson, shall we? First things first. Pow. Anyways, so I'm going to actually get into talking about the sample here. It's one of the things that are more peculiar to this track, obviously. And the original sample sounds... The original sample sounds like this. Now, let's actually talk about this technique, because this technique isn't 100% new, but one of the first people I actually heard do it on the track was a mentor of mine who happened to actually produce for Outkast. If any younger cats actually remember that. Never thought I would say that, but his name is Mr. DJ. He actually came into fruition into their career, their second album, which is called AT Aliens, and which is like my second favorite album, my first favorite being Equimini. So I was at his studio or whatnot, just peeping his style and how he approaches things and whatnot. And I noticed one thing. I was just listening to a track, and I was like, you know what, that sounds kind of, I was like, his melodies are always awkward and strange and very mysterious, misty, just describing it how I felt, but how light it was. And then I was like, man, how could I get that light sound? And then he's like, all I did was reverse it. And I was like, oh, word. So basically, reversing samples gives your track kind of like a more of a lighter feel, a mistier feel. So if you actually go back and listen to ATL's, a lot of his production that he did on there actually used this particular technique. And a lot of his production moving past that actually does as well. So, from that point, I just was doing this track, and I was like, man, I like the sample, but I don't want anybody really just to be on it like that, which obviously I'm showing it now, so it doesn't matter. But like, I was listening to it. It was nice, but it wasn't sparking it for me. So, if you're in exclusively in FL Studio 12, which is something where they kind of like they tweaked upon their time stretching and like all those type of things, time stretching, but I say scratch. So time stretching. So they worked on those options a lot. And if you remember in the first episode, which I highly recommend everybody watch that, because every other episode is going to kind of have that this particular technique in there in many different ways. But as far as like sampling or whatnot, this melody is not. This melody is actually much slower, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, it's much faster. It's probably like 195 not 195, but 95 or something like that BPM. But using the technique from the first episode and then actually inputting the actual tempo into the actual wave file after perfectly timing it allowed me to be able to do something like that. But in general, if you want to reverse, just press reverse and it will reverse the whole entire waveform and you get something like this. Now that alone, it's like a cool way of actually kind of like hiding and doing a different artifacts to and sample that you might like in a track or that you're doing. Even if you created your own self, it will give it a different your sample a different flavor, which will help your approach in being very obscure and kind of just appealing and being unique and standing out versus anybody that might do something else that is more traditional. Now, with the other features within the sampler itself, you have another feature, which is called pitch. Now, you can actually adjust the pitch and keep your BPM. This is something that's not all DAWs can do, DAWs can do, but there are different ways that it can be done. It'd be different in different different DAWs. So, adjust the pitch. It's gonna start calculating, to keep the BPM as is, and then so just that simple, right? It's just that simple that it was able to do that. But keep in mind that you watch lesson 1, so you actually can see, or episode 1 of Next Level Hip Hop, so you can actually see, how did I approach the other things as far as timing the actual sample and putting it in there and just calculating it. There's other things that I actually did this track. I can actually just talk about it because I see the stream is actually asking questions and I had to restart because of an awkward area in the beat. I had pulled this up. I think I did this in a different version of FL Studio 12, and the first releases were kind of buggy, but this release is probably the least buggy and has more options. But anyways, okay, this plugin right here, pull up, you son of a gun, it's Poise. Now, Poise is basically a plugin that helps you if you're somebody like me. Right now, I'm tapping on my MP. So, and you just don't want to do just go to another channel, do one drum track and do another go to another channel, do another track. So certain things like that, and that's pretty much how. Sorry, I'm actually checking my drums. I actually adjusted the thresholds on the drums. I might have to adjust them again. That's what happens when you take somebody's advice. Well, no, when you let somebody else use your equipment. But yeah, just working on the actual drum tracks itself is kind of just a different way of doing it. And if I actually pull up like the mixer, and you see how it is hitting on, they're already mapped to different insert channels in the mixer. And that is there's a reason for that, and it's just like this. So basically, if you're whatever it's called, detail settings button is like this, and you don't see in your detail settings, click on that. Then you click on the VST wrapper settings. Then it will look like this, and then you will have to go to processing. In processing, you'll have all kinds of options right here. All you have to do is just press auto map to outputs. What auto map to outputs is going to do is going to map all your different multi outputs, which that I lost my brain on how to do that on the Easy Drummer review. I forgot totally that that's how it's done in FL Studio 12 or below. I think it's a little easier on the older version of FL Studio. But anyways, you know, and as you can see, if I click on the different pads on Poise itself, which helps you get the MPC feel if you want to track stuff out or do drum lines, but you want to have it mixed in different channels. So you see right here that I'm clicked on Echo Kick, and it is on output 1. So output 1 is the drums. So output 1 by default, if you have it like your particular plugin on track 1, it will be output 1. So okay, we know that. So output 3 will be on track 3, and output 2 will be on track 2, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So that's how you actually multi out two different inserts, which I probably might do in another video. This right here, I did it in Gladiator. It's a custom sound, and that's this sound right here. Love that sound. I also did a bass. So let me know if y'all actually want me to do a Gladiator 2 pack, because I really could do some really disgusting things with Gladiator 2 that you will never hear in any other VST, because that VST has a lot of things different as far as unison. So that's really basically it. You know, I just want to talk about reverse sampling in this episode. It's just like one of those strings. Definitely, I know people want to know about that. Those don't sound like strings, right? That's because they're being modulated. And what modulation is, or one form of modulation, is actually applying a LFO, a low frequency oscillator, which is not meant to be heard like sound, because the frequency obviously is low. So if it's too low or if it's too high, you really can't hear a frequency, because our ears hear a certain amount of frequencies at a certain level. So strings. So in particular, I used Fruity Love Filter. This is a very good plugin. If you are a FL Studio user and you might have to purchase it unless you bought the Signature Bundle. And I bought the Signature Bundle because it comes with everything. It's not cheap either. You can find it. I found one yesterday, which made me kind of mad, in FL Studio, a version of it. The Signature Bundle, which comes with everything, for $200. I paid $600, I think, for the full version of it, and but it came with every full version of every plugin except for maybe like 3 or 4. And when the time came for like buying Harmor and all that, I bought it. But anyways, free updates all day, every day, and don't have to pay for it again. So, you know, using the Fruity Love Filter, and hopefully I'll be able to pull this up without messing up this actual. But what the Fruity Love Filter is it uses, like I said, LFOs and stuff like that to create different sounds. I'm gonna go ahead and cycle through. Let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and detach that, and we'll be done. I'll be done talking, because I don't want this to be long. So that's not doing anything. That's not doing anything. That's not doing anything. And just pay attention to this window right here. Well, right here. Up above me. You'll see it. But you'll see which preset it was. You know what? Easier way of doing it. So that's not it. That's almost there. That's what you call AM, or amplitude modulation. That's not it. And now we're in the frequency filters. And it's kind of modulating the cutoff of a filter. So we're in the right area. And I just happen to be kind of like messing with this. And there we go. It's called Tri Filters. So it's right there, Tri Filter Damage. And that gives, and it's kind of cool because the way it's modulating the cutoff is within the actual plugin itself. So that's the actual LFO right here that it's actually utilizing. Let's see if they had like a visual. You know, you can kind of fill it out to what you want. But the center sounded the best to me. But you actually can automate that if you really want to go above and beyond. But that's basically about it. We're at it's like 17 minutes. Dang it. But anyways, that's about it for this episode. That's all I wanted to talk about and kind of like the history behind it. And yeah, so if you like this video, give it a like. If you have any comments or questions or whatnot, please leave them. If you have any requests, I will have a link in the description area where you can leave it on my Facebook page and, tell you, the embedded post. So leave your requests in the embedded post. So I got more things coming this week. So, pay attention. This is your boy DJ McCree, and I thank you for your time. And don't forget to subscribe, and I am out.